any full manuscript before the 4th century. Okay,
Listen
let me
to
finish.
No, don't finish. At this rate, because you haven't got a
asked me
clue.
for evidence.
Do you
asked me for
understand?
evidence, but you don't want
Do you understand?
You asked me for the evidence.
Yeah, and you're not starting so
you
far.
asked me for the evidence.
I know.
Well, I'm giving you the
And
evidence.
I gave you some
giving you
time
the
already, and so
I'm
far,
giving you the evidence,
and
but you
so
can't-
far, you haven't started.
What do you mean I'm not starting?
I'll clarify. So the context, we were talking about sonship of Jesus.
Oh, you said, can you provide evidence in the Bible?
Yeah. One second.
And now you're
One
talking about
second.
sonship.
One second.
Can you call
One
God
second.
Father?
One second.
Can you call God
One
Father?
second.
Can you call
One
God
second.
Father?
One second.
Can you call God
The
Father?
lady I was speaking to,
You're speaking to me.
Are you
And now
confused
You're
also?
jumping around. You're jumping around.
was I speaking to you when he
You
jumped
were
in?
just speaking to me. You come a conversation.
This is unbelievable. Do all Muslims have the same issues?
No, but
That they jump in and they are utterly confused. Now, to you, my dear friend. So you. The Quran rejects the sonship. You, by way of saying, giving an excuse, you said because the Bible has changed,
No, but that's
modified. Now, let me go back because he is confused.
I'm rejecting the Bible is a case where it is after the Bible. But as of for rejecting the sonship of Jesus, Jesus is our prophet. You know, Prophet Isa.
Not interested.
Listen, okay.
Not interested.
No.
No.
Interested in your
Do you know? No. You say okay. My dear friends, the lady was supposed to provide evidence for the Bible having been modified. Now clearly none of them would start. None of them would start. Therefore, let me clarify. Do you know? One second.
We do not believe that Allah can give birth. As to why we do not believe that Jesus is
Please
the Son
listen
of
carefully.
God.
I'm really not
We do
interested
not
with-
believe He is not our Lord.
Sure,
Do
please.
you understand?
One second. Now,
Are you
I'm-
Christian?
I am really
so you
not-
believe in a monotheist religion.
If you
yeah?
listen,
One God. How
if
do
you
believe
listen,
that Jesus
if you
is your
listen,
God? Okay?
if you
I
listen,
listen, but
no, you're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. You were
I will
going to
listen.
find out. You were going to find out the evidence for the Bible having been modified in the context where I was saying the Quran has been preemptively rejected by the Bible.
But the Quran
You're not
is
listening
one
now.
book
You're not
and
letting
the
me finish.
Bible is
You're not letting me finish.
manufacturer of
You're not letting me finish. You're not letting me finish. You are not letting me finish. If you let me finish, otherwise,
I let you finish.
now, once I finish, I want you to stay focused because the topic is specific. The Quran makes blunders in history. The Quran claims that Jesus could never have claimed to be the Son of God, the Lord. He could never have claimed to be the Lord. So these are two claims, and neither could he have claimed to be God. So and the triunity, Trinity, could not be true. There are multiple claims that the Quran has about the biblical content. To excuse the fact that the Quran makes these erroneous claims, you said the Bible has been modified. Now, just to point out right now, the topic, if you need to find evidence for the modification of the Bible, do you have any manuscriptal evidence that rejects the sonship of Jesus? Do you have any manuscriptal evidence that rejects the lordship of Jesus? Do you have any manuscript of the Bible that rejects the deity of Jesus, the triunity of God? Do you have manuscriptal evidence for any of these, please? Do you have manuscriptal evidence for any of these to demonstrate in these core things the Bible has been modified? Do you have any manuscriptal evidence, for example, also denying the crucifixion of Jesus? Do you have manuscriptal evidence for any of these? Well, the Bible, Gospel of Matthew, Gospel of Mark, Luke, John claim Jesus was crucified. Please listen. My difference. Please listen. When you say where the Quran makes historical blunders, that you gave modification of the Bible as an excuse, my question to you is, do you have evidence in these regards, in this, yeah, please, what gospel tells you Jesus is not Lord? But you said historically yes. Now you can't answer. Which one of them is true?
You're more fresh than you, bro.
Historically looking back, only the Pope had the real Bible.
I'm not. Excuse me. Wow. Look, fantasy ideas. If I ask him, he'll give one fantasy idea. All of you guys not interested. I'm looking for evidence. We're interested in evidence. This is Speaker's Corner. Whether you like it or not. This is not your masjid. This is not the closest masjid. Listen. Evidence. I'll ask one last time, and if you fail to answer, I will move on. Do you have any evidence of a gospel that rejects the sonship of Jesus, the lordship of Jesus, the deity of Jesus, the triunity of God, or the crucifixion of Jesus, or the resurrection of Jesus? Any manuscriptal evidence for any of these? Yeah, you see, this is so in other words, she has sold her life for a lie for which she can't provide any evidence. Earlier, you were interested in providing evidence for modification. Now, if you were any intelligent, you would know that you jumped in the middle of a conversation where we were dealing with differences between the Quran and the Bible. Fundamental differences. Jesus was not crucified. Jesus, therefore, could clearly, by implication, could not have resurrected. Jesus could never have claimed to be Lord. No one could be called the Son of God, and therefore, by implication, Jesus can't be the Son of God. If you want to argue for the modification of the Bible in relation to these things, do you have any evidence for a Bible that rejects these fundamental Christian claims? Go ahead. Evidence of the Gospels rejecting these fundamental Christian claims. Please go ahead.
I have historical evidence. As I mentioned to you about the Gospels, Theodosis the second in the 5th century ordered the destruction of any Gospel that went against the Lord. Historicity shows that the early followers of Jesus in the 1st century Jerusalem, they were strict monotheists and they were Torah.
Evidence for the manuscript that rejects the fundamental claims of Christianity. Is he going to start sometime soon? Is he going to start sometime soon? Sometime soon? Is he going to start? Anytime soon are you going to begin mentioning some manuscripts?
Evidence shows that the early followers of Jesus in Jerusalem were Torah.
Is the gentleman, I'll give you one last chance. I gave the lady a few chances. She clearly couldn't.
Oh, you're stuck to the same point.
One second. I'm speaking to the gentleman. Once I'm done, I'll come to you, because you jump in and then you confuse me saying, well, I said something else, like this gentleman. One last time. Do you have evidence for gospel, any gospel? Do you have evidence of manuscripts that reject fundamental tenets of the Christian belief?
So based on the question you're asking me, I'm going to ask you the same. I'm going to ask you a question on the same expectation that you have for other people. Can you provide any evidence from any of the Gospels where Jesus says, I am God?
You see, so no manuscriptal evidence denying the fundamental tenets of Christian belief. Jesus being the Son of God, Jesus being the Lord, Jesus being God, Jesus being one person of the triunity, Jesus' crucifixion, Jesus' resurrection. Ultimately, my dear friends, the gentleman struggles not because he is not intelligent, although that might also be the case, but he is failing because Islam is utterly clueless.